Hello. Ooh, your girl got a tan. I went down by the riverside and got my morning walk, my soul time, and my time with God. And let me tell you, today ain't the day to be testing out new deodorant or organic or even dry deodorant, as I have learned. Today ain't the day for that. It's just not. So we are going to chit chat while I do my facial, my home facial. And I got the steamer going and it's feeling good. Very excited. Summer is officially here. Going to go spend some more time with my babies and my grandbabies. Always so much fun. That's what I live for. That's literally what I live for. So I'm super excited for that. And today I want to chit chat about don't quit your daydream. Okay. Because I started this online thing in 2013, not knowing what controversy it was going to create in my life, right? That everybody and their mother was not only going to have an opinion, they still do, about what I should be doing with my talent, with my time. Notice the word my reoccurring, with my skill set, with my education that I paid for. Nobody, they did not pay for my education. I paid for it. And so everybody, and I mean everybody, had an opinion about what I should be doing. But I had a vision that was given to me long before I even started to act on that vision, okay? And I didn't have all the details. I didn't have the how. I didn't know when, but it was downloaded. I caught it and I grabbed onto it. And I'm still working toward that vision. And the reason I bring this up is because today was a really cool day because I woke up to direct deposits from multiple entities. I got direct deposits last week from multiple entities, okay? So part of the reason there was so much controversy over what I was doing with my time, my skill set, my treasure, my education that I paid for, I think was just people trying to protect me. People not being able to understand and see the vision that I had, and that I knew that it would all work out and that it would all come to pass and it would all work out. And so I'm sure people were concerned because here's the deal, okay? Here's the deal. I knew that the day would come where there would be a great resignation. I knew the day would come when people would be like I was in 2013. Tired of the rat race, tired of the carrot being dangled in front of your face, tired of being manipulated, working in a toxic environment, and basically in a soul-sucking job, being away from your family and loved ones when they needed you, when you wanted to. So many Christmases, they barely even got to see me on Christmas Day, right? Barely even got to see me on Christmas Day, let alone the day or the week after Christmas. And that's partly my fault because nobody asked me to be a sacrificial lamb and let, everyone else have off and then I work, because in the end, most of them didn't even appreciate it, right? They didn't even, people only care about what you do for them in that moment. And then the next time they want what they want from you, if you don't give it to them, they forget all about what you've already done for them, right? So I knew the day would come when my vision would come to pass. And my vision has come to pass. And I have not gone without since 2013, right? It has not always been a cakewalk. There were some scary moments. Oh my God, I got that in my nose a little bit. There were some scary moments. Sorry, y'all. There were some scary moments, but it always worked out. It always worked out. And the day has come that people are not only tired of getting up, going to work on someone else's dream all day, every day, and not being able to still not only have the time with their family. In some cases, people don't even have the income to support the bare necessities of life, let alone the nice things, right? People are sick and tired of that. And I was well educated, still am. I was a high income earner, but I also was basically a slave to this corporate entity that not only did not deserve me, they made me feel like I was not worthy, that I had to continually prove myself day in and day out. I knew the day would come when more and more people would choose to live a life of experience versus the traditional life that everyone tells us that we should have, which is get a good education, get a good job, buy a car on credit, buy a house on credit, and be a slave to those things instead of being location independent, instead of being concerned with the emissions from a car because you're getting in a car every day to drive where you could walk, bus, and do other things. Because I saw a video on TikTok the other day, and this woman, was talking about that. Someone was like, why are all the black women of luxury living in an apartment? I made that decision with my kids years ago because I'd rather live in that apartment and take my kids on, world-class vacations, give them experiences. And it's a beautiful thing to see my daughter carrying that on with my grandchildren. No, they don't live in an apartment, but they live in a very nice home and they still experience, they vacation, they travel. Because there are a lot of kids who live in these great homes, but they don't really travel. They've never been in an airplane, right? My grandchildren have been in airplanes since under the, about at least the age of 2, right? And to each their own. I'm not saying one is right and the other one is wrong, but the thing is, don't quit your daydream because you keep holding the faith and you keep working towards your vision, and your vision will come to pass, okay? People are looking for, not work, people are looking for freedom, and in that freedom, of course, they need to create income, right? We need to create income. And how people are looking for, how can I create income that does not require me to basically work myself to the bone and die? And understand, I come from people who work. I work, okay? I work harder than anybody I know, but I also try to work smarter than anybody I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not here to work 30, 40, 50 years building other people's dreams and then retire and have nothing but worries about money and misery. That ain't gonna be me. That ain't gonna be me, because I've seen it. I've seen it with family members. They work 20, 30 years somewhere, they retire, and they've won or lost because they have no purpose. They don't know what to do with their life, and they end up being mean and or miserable, which, by the way, it would be a great description of me when I worked in corporate America. Just be honest, right? Living for the weekend, partied it up on the weekend, enjoyed the weekend, but because I had to release, for one thing, I had to release because that work environment, I mean, it got to the point where I had to punch a boxing bag a couple times a day because it was pretty intense. It was pretty stressful, right? And so I am a much better human being. I am a much better parent, grandparent than I would have been, a much better sibling, a much better auntie, a much better child, niece, all of these things because I decided to take a chance on me, right? And it's because I believed in my vision and I made a decision that was best for me, not for everybody else. I made a decision what was best for me, what was aligned with my vision, not what was everyone else's vision. And don't get me wrong, don't even get me started. There are still people to this day want to be all up in my business worrying about what I do with my day and my time when I've usually probably made more money by the time I woke up and got moving throughout the day than they even made in a whole day, okay? And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying, oh, that feels so good. Just saying that people's perception of what work is versus what work really is in 2022, I'm gonna just say this. If you're not creating and your only source of money is from actually a traditional job, that's why people are posting about gas prices. That's why people are posting about rent prices, because they haven't figured out how to create. They haven't figured it out yet, right? So look at that. That is why I do the home facial to get that deep in there dirt. Okay, when you know how to create, you can create the life you want, you can create the income, you can create the opportunities. There's so many different things that you can create, but you have to first learn how to create. And I think the first rule of creation is to let go of everybody else's opinions. Let go of everybody else's opinions, because forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. They know not what they do. They know not what they speak. They just don't know. They just don't. Okay? So, it feels so good. Face is so clean. It's been so hot. I think I want to do the pink clay mask next. But it's so important that you stay true to your vision, because you got to remember, it's your vision. It's not everybody else's vision. Everybody's not going to get it as much as we want them to. It's not for everybody to get. It's for you. Okay. Before I go into that, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get my pink clay my eye mask, because I haven't had those on in a couple days. And I asked them something, and their response was, "Well, you don't have a job, right?" Like, because that's what I come from. I come from, like, a lot of your identity, a lot of your self-worth is tied to whether or not you have a job. And it's like, are you trying to be funny? Are you trying to minimize me? Because, you know, a lot of people are still of this mindset that if it's not a brick and mortar, if it's not a service, if it's not something that they can tangibly see, you know, they just consider it whatever. And it's like, yeah, no. I got a job. It just isn't the job that you want it to be. You know, it's just not aligned with what you think a job should be, what you think making money should look like. I do it my way. You do it your way, and I'm gonna keep doing it my way. Okay, everybody can be happy then, right? Oh God, that is so annoying. I think I got it. Okay, so you know, I don't knock how you make money, so don't knock how I make money. And trust me, there are a lot worse ways I could be making money than what I do. Okay, there are a lot worse ways, but the key is, and I'm not selling you on driving Lambos. I'm not selling you on, you know, mansions. I'm selling you on whatever it is your vision is. But I do encourage you, because this is the one thing I wish I would have done sooner, and that is dream bigger. Dream much bigger and much faster. I've heard mentors say that, but dream much bigger and much faster, because these dreams I'm having today are much bigger than the ones I had years ago. Okay, the first one was, I didn't want a boss. That was the first dream. I did not want to have a boss. Okay, and in a weekend I was able to generate what I needed to not have a boss, right? And that was 2015, end of July. It's now 2022, almost 7 years later, and I still don't have a boss, right? I am my boss, right? So that was the first one. The second one was, I wanted to be with my grandson. Because when I set out on this journey, what I did not know was that you know, like within months, I found out my oldest daughter, who was an adult, was having a baby. And I fell in love with that little guy. I couldn't wait for him to be born. And what I wanted was to be a stay-at-home grandma, to stay at home with him, right? To be his caretaker. And eventually I got to do that. I had to get rid of the boss first, and I did. Okay, I like, oh my God, that was like, I don't even know how to describe it. It was like, I desperately wanted that. I wanted that more than anything. I was consumed with it. I was obsessed with it. I mean, and that was for a few years, and I was so distraught, not lost, but distraught when he went on to preschool and wouldn't be home with me. I would have just homeschooled him and kept him with me, but we can't do that, right? I mean, you can, but at some point your kid's got to be able to go out, and he's my grandson, go out, right? And then a couple years ago, when my daughter had my granddaughter, and they're 6 years apart, and she needed me postpartum, I was able to, on a dime's notice, pack up and go there for it. I don't know, it was at least 2 weeks, might have been longer. Okay. And so that's also part of the vision that I didn't know, that I didn't understand, but it wound up being really, really a huge part of my story, because like I said, I had no idea I was going to end up being a grandma within the first year of starting this online journey, which, by the way, I started without a job, a traditional job, and then had to quickly get one where I was underemployed and worked that for 2 years while I was, because I have 30 years of sales, marketing, and leadership experience. What I didn't have was the digital marketing piece. I didn't understand things like building an email list, and as I learned about them, I implemented those things, and they definitely have helped me to get to where I am today, right? And that's what they say, your gift will make room for you. All I knew was that whole corporate rat race, I was done with it. There was going to be no more of that for me. I was over that. I didn't want to go back to that. I despised it, and I had to burn the boat. I just absolutely could not go back, okay? And so I held to the vision. I just every day stepped out on faith and took some sort of action. No. Is my story over? No. My story continues. I am about to move, and there's a whole lot of things I don't know yet. All I know is I will be moving, and my vision is I will be in a even better place than I live. It will have more luxuries. It will have more amenities, and it will serve its purpose just like this place served the purpose to get me to where I am. The next place is going to be a part of my journey, and it's just going to keep evolving and keep growing. I have the vision of what I want it to look like, the size, not specific location, but things about the location. I have my vision around the amenities, the price range. I have my vision, and I'm holding to it, and I am taking steps to get me there, because it's always about this or something better, right? And that's the thing, when you have a vision and you're holding on to it, you don't always see the full path. You might see the destination, but you won't necessarily know everything that it's going to take between where you are and where it is that you want to be. And so you just start taking those little baby steps, and like I said, your gift will make room for you. Things will appear, even miraculously, for you to end up where exactly it is you're supposed to be. I always said when I moved here that this was where I was supposed to be. I could feel it, I knew it, and it worked out, not just for me, but for other reasons and other people. And now that time has passed, and the next piece of my journey is unfolding, and wherever it is I'm supposed to be, I will end up being there, and whatever purpose it serves, it will serve. But I do get to be a part of the process by envisioning and manifesting where it is that I want to go. So I know that I want to continue as a full-time content creator, and I don't see that that's going to be a problem. It's just not, right? I can see that I want to have space for my grandbabies, and that's going to be. I want luxury. I want experience. I want amenities, and I don't want to get raked over the coals for the rent, right? So there's a couple things about that. Either there's going to be additional income coming, or something is going to happen where everything is going to be in alignment with both what I want, and if not, it just means it's just temporary and there's something else coming along, because so often we have these visions and at the first, and I can be guilty of this, at the first sign of struggle or difficulty, oh, I was wrong. No, you were right, but it just means that not now. It just means that something better is coming. And that is just truly what I have learned in all this time of being an online creator, content creator, digital marketer, affiliate marketer, right? Because I've always said this, and I maintain, no one grew up and said, I want to be an affiliate marketer. No one said that, right? But in today's world, imagine waking up and you've got multiple direct deposits, right? Imagine, I imagine myself back 10, 12 years ago, if I had a horrible boss, right? If I had a horrible boss, but I also had multiple streams of income and direct deposit coming in where, I don't even know if I want to say that, it's a lot easier to go to a job that you don't like and for a boss that you don't really care for when you have options, right? And that's what the creating additional income streams is about. It's about giving you options. That's it. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. I hope to never work a job again. Okay. But things change, right? Like right now, what I'm hearing is some jobs are paying people like me really well. So that's something I could entertain, right? Because again, it's about the destination. I'm not attached to whether or not I work a job. I am attached to the dream, the vision, the lifestyle that I have for myself, okay? And a job, looking at it for what it is, a way to either make an impact or make an income or both, something I wouldn't necessarily rule out. It just has to meet certain requirements. And if part of the overall plan to get me to the destination is to do some sort of job that meets the specifications to be in line with my vision for myself in my life, then that would be something that I would do. I haven't come across it. It hasn't found me. So, it is what it is, right? But just don't be so attached to all the stuff in between where you are and where it is that you want to be. That's where I have messed up. That's where I have gotten stuck before, is so concerned with being attached. Well, I wanted this, and it's, you got to sometimes just let it go and really focus on, if it's not this, that just means something else better is coming. If not now, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Like somebody said to me the other day, something about, we got to get rich. I said, honey, I already am wealthy. The money has just got to catch up to me. Right? So you got to really be careful, because there are people out there who don't intentionally, they mean well when they try to tell you certain things. They mean well, but they're not on the right vibration. They're not necessarily in alignment. And sometimes you might have to limit their access to you, right? Or you just got to let them know. You got to, because other people can speak, you got to be really careful of, especially in your presence. You can't control when they're not around you, but you have to control what other people are speaking on you and your circumstance and your situation when they're in your presence. You have to stop them and correct them. You can't let the words that are coming out of their mouth, you can't absorb that. You can't feel those emotions and let that affect your dream, your vision, and your ultimate manifestation. You've got to sometimes rebuke it. Like, even if I don't say it out loud in my head, I will take what somebody says and spit it back at them. Like, nope, right? Another thing is people's energy. That's the number one reason why I know my time here is up. Because the energy is just not in alignment. The energy is not in alignment. And so, people's anxieties, that stuff is transferable. People's fears, which basically is another way of saying anxiety, people's energy and emotions. That stuff can transfer to you if you let it. And if you are more of an empathetic person, more of an empath, you have to be diligent about your energy and absorbing versus observing. When I heard that a couple of years ago, that changed everything for me. That changed everything for me, because I cannot, certain people, I already know my guard is up. I have done all the things I need to do to make sure that when I'm around them, what they're thinking, feeling, and putting out is not, that it bounces off of me and sticks to you. That whole old school, school rhyme we used to say on the playground. I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever it is, bounces off of me and sticks to you, or whatever, something like that we used to say, right? Your negative, anxious energy is not going to come in and affect my vision and therefore my reality. Just not going to happen, boo-boo. So you can keep all that nasty energy to yourself. It's not going to infiltrate over here, right? And again, it's not always that people are evil or against you. It's not always that. It just is what it is. And you have to learn what you need to do to not have to absorb that and not let that impact you and not let that keep you from doing what it is that you need to do to make your vision your reality. Okay? You've got to stay as high level emotion, as high focus, as high level of relaxed energy in order to be in the flow and let things flow. Okay? Because not everybody is in alignment. I'm not saying that makes them a demon or a monstrosity or evil or anything like that. They're just lost. And it's not your job to enlighten them always. It's not your job to bring them along, to lift them up always. It's just not by doing anything over and beyond and extraordinary and that. It's not always, that's not always your calling. I'm not saying it's never your calling, but that's just not always what you're called to do. It's just not. And I've learned that, right? Like, some people are going to be miserable no matter what. And I don't care who they are, what my relationship to them is. If every time in conversation I'm trying to offer you a solution, and for every solution you've got 4 more problems that solution brings, GTF my face, of my face, GTO my face, like, be gone, because I'm not interested in that negative talk, that negative energy, that problem focused energy. I am more welcoming, inviting, loving, happy, joyful, peaceful in environments that are all about solutions. Okay, that are about enjoying the journey. Okay, that's my vibe, right? And sometimes it can be family members. Okay, and so I minimize my exposure to them. Doesn't mean I won't be in the same place with them. Doesn't mean I will see less of them. It just means I'm going to move around to where, and some people will get a clue. Some people will get it and understand that they need to switch things up. And sometimes you just got to outright tell people, like, hey, like I said, I told my friend, like, hey, that's not how I think. That's not how I talk. And I'm not going to let that enter and become my vision, impact my vision, therefore impacting my reality, right? Because I'm going to give you an example from the world of the digital space, from the world of digital marketing, okay? And it's this. I see so many people, and I've been there. I just want to put that out there. I've been there where I actually was winning, but because it wasn't exactly the way that the coaches and the gurus said that it went for them, I felt less than. I allowed that to make me feel less than worthy. okay, less than deserving, that my success was not as good, it didn't qualify, I wasn't doing things the compliant way. What was I thinking? The compliant way. And because of that, that I needed to, in essence, shrink myself. No, baby. No, baby. No. Your journey, your path, the way that it works for you is for you and no one else. Any guru, any coach worth their weight is going to have their proven systems and their proven and method, which is really a part of their system. But the metrics are going to look different for different people, because number one, your ideal client is not the same as their ideal client. The algorithm that you're dealing with today is not the algorithm that they had whenever they had their success, right? You know, I was thinking about this because Kim Kardashian launched Skin, SKKN, I think, her skincare line yesterday with 9 products, right? She launched that. It actually became available for sale. She actually launched it June 1st, okay? So here's the thing. A lot of people who are having success today, it's because of things and work that they did years ago. But they look like an overnight success today. But they get on stage, they get on camera, and they pontificate about the things that they're doing today, and they think what they're doing today is where that success came from, when it really is from things that they did years ago. Here's the key. Don't focus on how many followers you have. Don't even focus on how many likes you get, how many views. Focus on how many lives you're impacting. Focus on how many customers you're creating, right? That's the key. That's where what you can take to the bank, right? Because if you can develop a customer base that likes you, knows you, trusts you, and has bought from you, you can sell to them again, okay? And a lot of people have done things offline. A lot of people have paid for PR agents, and those PR agents got them in magazines and got them on even local news, let alone national news outlets. They've got them press and media coverage, and that's where all their followers came from, not even from the reels that they're doing, right? Some people are doing reels and that, but they're, you know, and I can tell you because I got a reel that has like 15 million views on it. That don't always equate to customers, because you have no control over where that reel is going to go viral. I know people who've had reels go viral in countries that they don't even do business in. So yeah, it looks great. Oh yeah, I got millions of views and I got thousands of followers. But what good is it if your account is now dead because you got a bunch of followers in a country that don't speak the same language of you and you can't even service, all right? So be careful of what you wish for in terms of vanity metrics, and focus a lot more on, are you targeting the right people, the right location, and solving their problems, okay? Because if you do that, you will be able to create and you will be able to live the life of your dreams, whatever that is. Someone on the internet told us that that is, and it's so crazy because I always see people go wild when, you know, people put out these clickbaity, you know, claims of how much money they've made. And a lot of times when somebody says they had an $800,000 launch, that's how much revenue they took in, right? But then they paid most of that revenue back out. And even after paying that revenue, most of that revenue back out, they still made a nice amount of money. I'm not gonna knock that at all, ever. But to say that you made had an $800,000 launch and you might have walked away with 150, even 200,000 or 300,000, tell that part of the story too. Tell that part of the story too. But to get back to these people and their gurus, right? You know, just because a guru had webinars and their webinar converted at a certain rate doesn't mean that you doing a webinar are going to convert at that same rate. You've got to learn what is valuable to you and leave the rest. You got to learn to take what's valuable to you, and the rest don't matter. So you go to the guru and you learn their webinar system, what they use to set up, the formula for selling, you know, the webinar formula itself, the tools, the resources, setting up the landing page and all of that. But your conversion rate just may be different because your ideal client is not their ideal client. That just drives me up a wall that the guru said, oh, your conversion rate should be this, right? Like, if you had a launch that, you know, made $80,000, $90,000, but the guru thinks it should have been $300,000 and is blaming it on you didn't get enough webinar registrations, well, there's a lot of different reasons why the guru might have had more webinar registrations, which led to more conversions than you, right? Are you like, you can't let these gurus and these coaches become your false god, become idyllic, where they are idols and everything that they say is true, okay? It's true in their realm, in their reality. But your reality is your reality, and it might just not be true in your reality. So you have to take from it the lesson, the value, and leave the rest. You cannot let that. I mean, I see people chasing everything under the sun online. Everything under the sun. Everything. And they're just not content because they are still chasing other people's visions and dreams and not their own, right? People will try to stereotype you. They will try to classify you, minimize you, and you can do that all you want to. I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. And if you're saying what I bring to the table isn't solid enough for your table, then I question how solid your table is to begin with. I question how solid your vision is to begin with, because my whole body of work speaks for itself. My body of work is solid AF. Okay, my body of work is rock solid, and if maybe we're just not aligned, and that's okay. But I tell you what, I got 2,000 followers on TikTok. I ain't struggling to get to 1,000. So that's that. It is what it is. So you've got to hold on to your vision and keep it your vision. Don't let all these other people come and influence your vision. That happened to me in like 2018. Good friend and mentor comes in and is, you know, having all the success with what they're doing, and that's great. Oh, you could be making this much money a month. Okay. So I literally dropped my vision and began to pick up their vision. And I did. I made some money. But it wasn't nearly what they envisioned that I could be making. And the reason I never made that amount was because it wasn't my vision. Right? It just wasn't my vision. It wasn't what I knew to and knew to be true. It wasn't what I believed, right? It took me off course, and then I had to course correct, right? Not saying that person's a bad person and that what they were doing was wrong or anything, but when you're in these spaces and you know a lot of people are going to be coming at you all day long, every day, with what they are visioning, right? And you've got to be able to sort out what's in alignment and what's not, because not everything is going to be in alignment. Not everything is meant to be a part of your journey, your path, and ultimately your destination, which is your vision, right? Your vision is really where you're trying to go. So that's the destination. And if you want to make that path to the destination, your journey to the destination, as enjoyable, as joyful, as peaceful, as exciting, whatever it is you want that path to be, you've got to be really conscientious of other people's energy and them imparting their visions onto you. I've had people get mad at me because whatever they're working on, they're excited about, and that's great, and I'm happy for them, but it's just not what I'm doing right now. It's just not in alignment with where I'm going. It's just not part of my flow, my energy, my vision. It's not part of my path. It's not part of my journey. I wish you luck, but it's just not for me right now. And people will be disappointed. They got to learn to manage that. That's not my problem. I'm not going to absorb that energy. I'm not going to be consumed with their energy and whether or not they're disappointed, right? Everybody's selling something, right? I could reach out to you today about what I'm doing, and either it's in alignment for you or it's not. And the thing is and that's as of today. It might be in alignment for you 2 weeks from now. That's happened. Where people were like, I'm not interested today. My thing is I'm just going to let you know. And if it is in alignment, let's do this. And if it's not in alignment, that's okay. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. You know, like somebody said, imagine you're a waitress, right? Or you're at a restaurant. Your waitress offers you coffee. Does the waitress go break down and have a breakdown and just cry and sob because you said no? Or if you're a waitress and you offer someone coffee, is that the end of the world? No, right? So I'm not saying that you should stop talking about what it is that you offer. I mean, look at me, what I'm doing that right now. You just can't be attached to each person and their outcome. You just gotta, okay, not now. I'm just gonna keep rolling. And somebody will, the right people are just gonna, and that's what's happened to me over the years, right? I just kept down my little path. Like I'm picturing myself now on the trails. I was on them earlier today. And I just picture myself on the trails. And as I'm walking, more and more people are coming out to join me. Because we all have the same vision, right? We all believe the same things. Because I am not in the business of convincing people. I'm just not. I'm not convincing people to work with me. I'm not convincing people to stay. I'm not convincing people to leave. I'm not begging people to keep me. I'm not begging to be in anybody's life. It is what it is, right? Everybody for a reason, a season, a lesson, or a blessing, right? And you don't want to overstay the blessing. You got to remember to know when it's time. Do not create resistance. Just stay in the flow. If time is up, I thank you. I bless. I've been blessed, and now I'm released and on to the next phase of my journey. You know, you just, I'm not convincing people. I'm not begging nobody. I'm not going to, and this is important for me because so much of my time in corporate America, and I see a lot of women do this in relationships. These men want to make you feel like you have to constantly prove your worthiness. But what have they done to prove their worthiness to you? Right? A lot of these jobs, they want you to work and continually prove yourself to them. But if you really stopped and looked at how they're changing your benefits and reducing your benefits and getting stingier and stingier with the bonuses and the annual increases and doing, and finding little things to nitpick you at about and during your annual review, are they proving themselves to you? So back to that whole would I work a job thing, if it aligned with everything that I wanted, yes, because that's a mistake that I made beginning with my first job out of college. I just knew I needed a job. I had this 4-year-old and I didn't want to be on welfare with her, and I wasn't going to be on welfare with her. This company offered me a job. I would have loved to have been making more, but it's going to pay the bills and it's a job. And then like a dummy, I stayed there for 5 years when I should have held out just a little bit longer for whatever was probably going to be better next. Right? And so that's my advice to you. You got to stay true to your vision. You got to remember why you started and where you're going, and just stay in the flow. Don't let other people, their problems, their disappointments, their fears, them not being in alignment, their lack of vision impact you and keep you from where it is that you're going. And like I said, you got to read the room. You got to know how to read the room. If the room is not of the same energy, you got to leave the room. And that's okay. You got to go find the room that has the energy that you are either at or the energy that you want to be. And you always want the room to bring your energy up, not down. So just know this. If Tamara is avoiding you, if you feel like Tamara is avoiding you, it's your energy. Your energy spoke for you before you ever did. And I'm choosing not to be in that energy because my energy is precious. It's vitally important to my dream, to my vision, to my life, that my energy remain at a certain level. And if I feel that your energy is going to bring it down, that your energy is going to create a block for my vision, then I'm sorry, I can't be in your energy. And that's been true for even family members, very close family members. I'm not playing about my energy. I don't play about me. I don't play about my dream. I don't play about my vision. And I don't give a rat's that you laugh at my vision. There are a lot of people who laughed over the years. Sure did. And I ain't saying I'm no millionaire and I'm rolling around in Benzes or anything. But the most important thing that people should take away from being in my presence and watching me online: peace, joy, happiness. I am wealthy AF. I am wealthy beyond measure in those areas. And that's what's most important. And that was the vision I had. It started in 2012. That there was going to come a time when people were more concerned about those things, because I've made the money. I've had the 5 and 6 figure bonuses from a job and been miserable, living for the weekend, having to either go punch a gym bag, and sometimes still after punching the gym bag, having to go have a drink so that I could go home and not bring all that toxicity and negative energy and built up anger from what I had to deal with at work all day home to my children. And see, the people who are on the outside judging whether or not I should be doing this or that, living here or living there or working here or working there with my time, talent, totality, they weren't living the life that I was living every day. They weren't waking up with that feeling. They weren't having the heart palpitations. They weren't having the panic and the anxiety attacks because of different things that I went through. They weren't involved in those bank robberies. They weren't involved with all the phone calls even when I'm not at work. The toxic work environment, the toxic boss and her boss. They didn't deal with that. I did. So who WTF are they to tell me, right? I remember specifically saying in a room of family members, I would be dead if I'd stayed in that environment. And a family member, I'm not going to name who, a very first family member started to justify why I stood. And it's like, I just said that I would be dead if I still worked in that environment. And you, of all people, should be more concerned with my health, my mental and emotional well-being, than to sit here and try and justify. Like, are you serious? Are you serious right now? It's wild. It's wild. But now I know. Now I know. And I see you. And I know we're never going to be in alignment. So I love you where you're at. You're going to have to learn to love me where I'm at, or you're just going to have to learn to not have me in your life. It just boils down to that. All right, so let's go ahead. Everything feels like it's drying up now. The masks are feeling really tacky. We're going to get these off. And we are going to take the mask off. And then we will be finished with this facial. But hold on to your vision, because your vision is basically synonymous with your dream. Okay? Your dream, right? And other people's energy. One of my favorite books is it's actually a big book, but it's like 3 or 4 different books in one, from Florence Scovel Shinn. One of them is The Game of Life and How to Play It. The other one is The Secret Door to Success. And in one of those books, actually no, that's Florence Scovel Shinn, who I think it was either her or The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. I can't remember which one, where it talks about don't scatter your forces. That's why it's more important to tell people what you're gonna. Don't tell people what you're gonna do. You gotta show them, because other people's energy can throw off what it is that you're doing. You don't make less moves, make less announcements and more moves. Less announcements, more moves. Oh, it feels good. That feels so good, so good. The towel warmer, one of the best things I could have ever gotten. One of the best things. One of the best things, and it's so inexpensive. I definitely recommend getting one. I actually would love a bigger one for like towels for getting out of the bath or the shower. That would be incredible. Like at the spa. That would be awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Little stubborn spots. Get it all cleaned up. Melt it off. And my skin feels so refreshed. So soft. And the towel just, oh my God, it feels so good. Everything feels good. Wipe it all away. And I'm long overdue. I'm long overdue with exfoliating and deep cleansing, with the steamer. I went a little too long on that. That happens. I always rub my chin. I can tell by my chin and the tip of my nose when it's time to exfoliate, for sure. And it's a fine balance, because you don't want to over exfoliate. Over exfoliating can cause issues, just like not exfoliating can make you look dry, dull, and flaky. So I'm actually tempted to do another mask, but I think that's enough for today. And I got plenty of other stuff I gotta do, plenty of things to do. So we're going to just finish up the routine here. But if I'd given up on my dream when everybody else said, I would have never seen it come to pass. And like I said, it's a beautiful thing when you have multiple direct deposits in a day. It's a beautiful thing, right? It's a beautiful thing when you don't have to worry about losing a job or quitting a job or leaving a job because you've got other income. It might not match, but you ain't gonna go hungry. You're not gonna go without, right? And you know that as long as you have that, it's gonna give you a certain level of comfort so that you can go and make up the difference. If there is a difference. There are a lot of people who they end up making more than they're making on their job. So it's like, unless it's for health benefits, why are you still working at it? You know what I mean? But the work looks very, very different than it used to. And that's a good thing. A lot of people don't understand it. And you know what? It just might not be for them to understand. That's the conclusion that I've come to in my life. Everything ain't for everybody. Okay? Everything ain't for everybody. You know, some people, them begging a boss for a 50-cent raise every year, or even $1, and feeling like they have to justify their worth for that. Not for me. Not for me. No. Working all those hours. Like literally, when I worked in corporate America, I used to, by the end of all the hours that I put in, I made less than frontline employees. That's called the salary trap. Nope, you can keep that. You can definitely keep that. You can stick it where the sun don't shine. And just because the way that you work and make money doesn't make sense to somebody else, does it make sense to your bank account? That's all that matters. Okay? That's all that matters. Because some people, they don't understand the digital space. They don't understand that automation is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. Some people, though, only understand getting up and physically going to a job, working physically, exerting yourself physically, exerting yourself mentally or emotionally. That's all they know and understand. I'm not here to convince. I'm not here to convince. I'm here to do what I'm here to do, and the rest will take care of itself. But I'm not here to convince, right? I don't have to convince. I don't have to persuade. And I damn sure don't have to explain. Okay? Because again, my body of work more than speaks for itself. I mean, the content alone, the content is fabulous. Someone was in my inbox yesterday saying, like, you have the best content. I know. No, I didn't say that. I said thank you. But I do. I have the best content. And a lot of people looking on the outside in have no idea the work that I put in, right? The way I've set myself up, my content works 24/7 for me. 24/7. I honestly probably don't even have to create another piece of content, because I put out that much content over the last, I don't know how many years, okay? But it's so easy for me and so fluid for me to create content just from my everyday life now. And that's that whole creative mind. And a lot of our minds are not creative. They are actually held captive because of bosses, because of jobs, because of outside influences, because of parental influence, because of societal influence. I'm not saying you got to go tell those people to jump off a cliff, especially if they're related to you. Oh my God, my face feels so good. So good. I need to get some oil on. I don't know if there's much in here. And sunscreen, and then I am good for the day. Yeah, I might have to open a new one. Let's see, can we get it all out? Yeah, I gotta open a new one. I gotta open a new one. So we'll get all this moisture and softness locked in, and then I'm good for the day. Happy me, happy me. I'll probably put on some, I don't know, if I'm going back outside, but yeah, I will put some sunscreen on too. Liquid gold, liquid gold. So my advice to you, get some affiliate marketing in place. Get it in place. Right? Get your systems set up. Get your systems in place. Get them in place. Oh my God, it feels so good. It's so soft. It's like a baby's bottom. You have no idea. It feels so good.